Hi, welcome to another episode of Life Changers, and this is Mike. Sorry, it's been a while. Been a busy summer, doing a lot of reading, a lot of research and development. No, I've just been slacking off. I'm just not going to lie to you guys. But to everybody that's been writing in questions and stuff like that, I really do appreciate it. I've been to a few festivals already this year. It's been great. And yeah, life is awesome. You know, it all comes back down to how you look at your reality. And I know I talk about it over and over and over, but it's because you need to hear it over and over and over, because that's how hard programmed you are. So the other day, my wife's like, hey, let's watch The Matrix. I feel like watching it. She's never watched it before. And I've watched it already a couple times, and it's great. But we're watching it we watched it for 45 minutes the other night, and then I was falling asleep because it was 3 a.m. She's like, we'll finish tomorrow. Then we watched an hour yesterday, and then it's we'll finish the rest today. But it's great that we've been doing that, because then I'm able to absorb more, I guess, and understand and read things that I haven't seen and listened to before. Everybody says oh, oh, I'm sorry about that. Everybody says oh, we're in the Matrix, we're in this, we're that. And yeah, we kind of are in the Matrix, but the thing you gotta understand is you have a lot more power or ability to control your Matrix. It's not, oh no, it's up to, in the movie, the machines, or no, it's the government that controls us, or it's corporate that controls us, all the big Fortune 500 companies, or it's this that control, or that, or the military, Nobody, okay, can take away your ability, wow, to create your own wealth, your own reality. Nothing can interrupt into that. Just like in the book, I don't know if anybody's been reading it, but that book I mentioned months ago called The Science of Getting Rich, okay? I'll put a link in the description, but yeah, he even says it in there that nobody can take away your will, your ability to create wealth. There's ways that they're trying to, right? As I say, program you, or as you might say, brainwashing you and stuff like that. But there might be, right? Because they don't want, I guess, you to have and to unlock your potential, like in the movie The Matrix. They don't want you to be able to go, oh, And it was funny, in watching the movie The Matrix, I was thinking, would I actually want to be unplugged from it? If this was the real, the movie The Matrix, and we're just batteries or whatever. Spoiler alert. No, sorry. If you haven't watched it by now, I'm sorry. It's been 1999 it came out. Or 1990, something like that. 99, I believe. Anyways, no, I would like to stay in the Matrix and not get out, in a sense, but learn how to hack it within, right? And that's all we are doing. We figure out our personal reality. So like I mentioned many, many times before, what type of reality? First off, you need to find out what type of reality you live in. What type do you live in? Do you live in the one where poor you, you can't control nothing? Then that's the reality you create, and that's what you're living in, and that's what you're going to get. You will not be able to do anything, and, oh, I can't do nothing, I'm not successful, I can't blah, blah, blah. That's up to you if you're going to do that. But I'm sorry to say, you are creating that. And it's funny, because I was at this festival I was at, I was talking to a couple, and he was like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I said, the key thing is money, right? Doesn't exist. And he just lit up, and his wife's like, huh? What do you mean it doesn't exist? I'm holding cash right now. Money is nothing. Money's a construct. Money's an agreement, right? What's more real than money is the energy of money. And I know I've talked about it before, but you need to find the energy of money. Well, Mike, how do I do that? Please tell me. I've been giving you answers and solutions, but in the end, it only works for you, and you have to find out for yourself what it is. I've heard all this stuff years before. When I was 22 years ago, I heard about all this stuff, and I'm only clicking into it in the last 5-6 years because I wasn't ready to listen or to believe, right? And I know it sounds crazy. And there's this other person listening to our conversation, and she was like, so what you're telling me is, in my reality, I choose to work hard to gain no more. I said, well, what reality do you live in? And that's what this whole topic is about today. What reality do you live in? And then she was just telling me, like, well, I work hard, and, I'm a teacher, or, she's a teacher and all this stuff. And I met a bunch of teachers at this event, and they're like, yeah, like, this is, I don't make that much, and this is, I do it for the passion, blah, 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 blah. Oops. And I was like, well, and they're like, well, money's hard to get, and we work hard for money. I said, well, that's the first thing. I don't work for money, right? I work because I like it. I work because I love it, and I understand the energy of money and how money just flows. And once you understand that, you no longer work for money. The moment I stopped working for money was the moment I started making a lot of money. I've always made money. Like 22 years ago, I was making $25 an hour when minimum wage was $7 an hour in the province I lived in Quebec, Canada. And that back then it was minimum wage was like $7-8 an hour. I was making $25 an hour, but I had no money to show for it. My business was doing millions of dollars of sales, but I had nothing to show for it. Why? Because the energy I was putting into my money was lack, right? Remember I talked to you guys about this. I read the book, Breaking the Habit of Being Myself, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Pretty much I realized that I was programmed to put negative negative energy, to money. And by putting the negative energy to money, I put lack thereof. So therefore, I got what I put out, which was, I don't need to have money, because no matter how hard I work, the government will take the money away from me in taxes. Or no matter how hard I work, the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. Oh, poor you. This is a reality check. You have to take responsibility. I had to take responsibility for my actions, for my money, for my energy, for my life. That's the first key. I realized my whole life I was told how money is a bad thing, and how I realize it through programming, and I see it in TVs and movies, how they're always making the rich seem like pompous assholes and make them seem like no one's going to do good with money. They're all murderers, and they're all, blood money, blood diamond, right? That's how they show you in all the movies and all that. And that is how they gain control, because you give it to them by accepting the reality they shove down your throat. We are in a very interesting time where since 2020 to now 2024, I'm actually from 2026, but we'll get to that. No, I'm joking. But in this reality, from 2020 to 2024, there's been a lot of eye-openings, where a lot of spiritual, awakenings and stuff like that, where people are starting to understand a lot more, and people are starting to use the terms more. Manifesting. I start seeing it more. This is what I'm manifesting. I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to manifest that. Right? I see a lot of those terms being used and stuff like that. But the first thing and the key is you have to break the habit that you were programmed throughout your life. And for me, like I talked in many of my podcasts, growing up, my dad would always say the same thing, because that's what he was programmed. And he would tell me, like, the poor stay poor. No matter how hard you work, you're still going to be, And I've always had, I grew up very poor. But when I started working, I've always worked really hard and had good paying jobs. I even worked at the same factory as my father at 14 years old. And I would do overtime, so I'd make more money than him, because if you're under 18, you don't have to pay the taxes to the government. You get it all back if you're under 18. So I did all the overtime. If you're over 18 and you do overtime, well, you lose more than half it to the government. So my dad's like, I'm not doing overtime. But I did a lot of overtime. So I made more money than my own father growing up at 14 years old because he would work his minimum hours. And I would work as much as I possibly could. I was young, right? Let's do it. Let's work. Let's hustle, right? And I started my own business at like 16, 17 with vending machines. And even before then, I had, candy machines and stuff like that I started buying when I was like 10, 11, and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I'm just going to find all these ways, right? And do you notice, okay, one thing I noticed is when you put lack, your company, you like might be making a ton of money, right? You're like, look at all the money my company is making, but how come I'm not keeping it, Mike? I had companies do millions of dollars of sales. But in the end, when it came down to the end, it looked good on paper. The company made all this money, all this blah, 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 blah. But where's the money? Where's my paycheck? Where's my $200,000-$300,000 a year I want, right? I get, 20,000 or whatever. Well, it's the energy I put out there. So I start attracting what I put out there. And if you don't believe me, well, it's true. Like, there's nothing more I could say to you. Just like that lady that I was talking to was like rolling her eyes at me like, no, you're full of it. You're BS. Like, whatever. I understand. You are allowed to have your opinion. Right now, if you're yelling at your, phone or TV or whatever you're listening to this podcast on it, your computer or radio or anything, saying, you're full of it, Mike. You're stupid. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay. I accept your reality, but it's not part of mine. I accept you and your personal reality because that's the type of person I am. And I just want everybody to love everybody. So, yeah, you don't need to hate me because I think differently. But when it works for me, why the fuck not will I do it? If it's not working for you, well, that's you. Do you. Because in the end, it's all about energy and what you believe. If you truly believe that you're successful because you work your ass off and you're saving your money and you're, keeping track of everything, blah, 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 perfect. It works for you. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm not here. I'm just here to give advice on how I've been doing it and how I've been learning, what I've been struggling with and what I see and what's working for me. So the moment I stopped giving a shit about money and the way I was programmed to, holy crap, my eyes were open and I see a million different ways to make money. I cannot explain it to you, but I can sit here and somebody can come into my office and go, okay, Mike, or you could send me an email and test it out if you want and be like, this is what my passions are. This is what I've been doing and it's not working. Or this is my idea. How do I start? And I could just, I don't understand it. Okay. It's the energy that I choose to tap into. And I could just understand and see what needs to be done to make money. It's crazy. Like I'm working on a bunch of different things, but I got to focus one at a time and grow them and let the universe take over. And I know it sounds crazy. I'm not sitting here going, okay, I set everything up. I'm going to meditate. Right? Let the universe do its thing. No. Oh, wow. My phone's ringing. I'm going to pause it and I'll be right back. And we're back. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it all comes down to you. Like, I'm not, once again, I'm just going to repeat it a little bit, but I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm here to give you and tell you my story and let you decide how you want to live your life and what works for you and what doesn't work for you. That's why I encourage people to write in. And like I was mentioning how like I just see money, like how people can make all sorts of money, how money becomes easy to me. And it's just the only person stopping you from being successful is you. Like we have to wake up and take responsibility because a lot of the programming, which I'll just reiterate, is hate for money. Rich people, subconsciously, we're programmed to hate money because rich people are assholes. In a nutshell, that's what they're showing us on mainstream media. Next step is they're showing you that like, They make a lot of jokes about law of attraction and people like trying to manifest their reality and stuff like that. They do a lot of jokes and stuff like that. And they also program you to, not depend on people and to hate people and to build a company in the sense of greed. So the moment I started developing my companies for success, because I want everybody else to be successful. So the way, I guess, in the, when I used to start doing business and people ask me questions like, what do you do for business? How do you do this? What do you do? And I'm right away start getting suspicious. Like, why am you asking me so many questions? You're going to try to copy me? You're going to try to do this, try to do that? But you know what? That's the way they're programming us. It's kind of like to build a ladder and saw off the rungs as you go up the ladder so nobody else can follow you, right? And then eventually you'll get to the top and make all sorts of money. Then you fall and crash and burn because you're not listening and getting with the times of all the different advice, such as in Canada, a company called Zellers, right? Sears, Canada. They were successful back in the day because they had the catalog and little stores, and you could order whatever you want and get it shipped to that store, and then you could pick it up or get it shipped to your house, right? But they weren't getting with the times because they were stuck in their ways. They were not listening to all the advice, and so on and so forth. They did not give a crap about online, and now they are really not much to talk about in Canada. And same with Zellers. They're gone. Walmart took over. But, the way I build my companies and the way I want to build success is I'm building a ladder, or I'm leaving the rungs for other people, and then other people can use my rungs and build their ladder, and so on and so forth. Because I know, okay, I'm not here going, I believe that this works. No, I know it works. And I know everybody can be successful. I know the moment you choose to start taking care of your own destiny and taking responsibility for your own destiny and your own actions and your own reality is the moment you have control of everything. Just like in the movie The Matrix, the moment Neo started going, oh, I get it, and stopped doubting and stopped this and stopped that and goes, this is my choice. I choose to believe what I want. I choose to believe if I could jump from this roof to that roof, or I choose to believe if I can do this and do that. But they want me to believe otherwise. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, everything you're saying is stupid, is crazy, like, I don't understand, well, sorry, you're programmed deep in the matrix, as they would say. I would honestly start by reading the book of Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, or give a nice listen to this other book called The Surrender Experiment by Michael A. Singer, because that are the two books that opened my eyes to understanding more and a lot more in the universe and stuff like that. And yes, I talk about it a lot. There's people that take things way too far and turn it into, whatever they want to turn, a cult, a religion, way too far. Like you learn in that book called The Surrender Experiment. In the end, this guy just wanted to go be a person in the woods, meditating and living off bare minimum and just disconnect from the world. But how the universe had a different plan. Right. And you're, oh, Mike, you're telling me that the universe has a plan for me and it's going to do whatever. No, we are all creators, and we came down here and we're creating the matrix together. Okay. Think of it this way. There's not one person that owns the matrix, let's say, or our reality, right? We are all balls of energy, spirits, whatever you want to call it. We came down and created this whole reality because we're like, this is going to be awesome, right? Think of it that way. If it helps you to understand a little bit better, think of it that way, that we're all creators. So we could co-create. So if you focus on the doom and gloom, there's going to be World War III, there's going to be, right, and all this negativity, that's all you're going to attract, right? If you start focusing on poor me, nothing I do works, the whole world's against me, I'm a victim, that's your fucking reality. And I'm sorry to say that. Reality check, okay? I'm not going to beat around the bush, okay? You, and only you, control your reality and your destiny and everything around you. It's not the conspiracy theories, it's not the government, it's not this, not that. But yes, there is ways that they're trying to program us and do this and do that, but the moment you open your eyes to it and understand, then the world is your oyster. The government or the whatever you want to call it, or the bad people in the universe or the world, are not able to take away the energy of money once you achieved it, and the energy of success, and the energy of creation, and so on and so forth. They could put everything in their power to convince you that I'm crazy. They could put everything in their power to do whatever they do to shrink your pineal gland, if you know what that is. Your pineal gland's in your brain, a little thing there, right? And if you know, you know. If you don't, well, look it up. Do some research. Not everything's going to be given to you on a silver platter. We're going to be that easy. But it doesn't matter. I've given people information on a silver platter and how to do this and how to be successful here and how to do that. People have seen me, right, do things, and they're just like, no, just luck. It's just, I haven't, nope, it's just you. It's just like blah, 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 right? But the moment you are ready, then you are ready. So the first step is to accept the reality that you're in and accept that you created everything through energy, through either positive energy or negative energy or influenced by other people's energy and so on and so forth. Because that's how it was for me when I was locked in, quote unquote, the matrix, going through my life. I was all the energy that I accepted into my life and the people around me and all their energy. So we're all co-creating. So we all, find that sense of community and co-create together and be like, this feels good, right? Because they believe what I believe and they're going to, whatever, right? And until I realized, you know what? There's more. And yes, you need to take responsibility for your actions. I'm sorry. It's like I could lose weight. I'm a fat guy, I guess you would say, right? I'm not sitting here blaming McDonald's, blaming whatever. The only person I could blame is me and my belief and my reality. Doesn't matter what people tell me I should believe. Unless I believe them, then I choose to believe them. Then therefore, it's my fault. People can try to influence me unless I accept it. Then it's just trying to influence me, right? But, it sounds easy when I put it out there and the words and everything that I'm saying, but yet it's a lot harder than it seems. Because, like I mentioned before, I created the success in my companies and I created the downfalls of my companies, all through energy and through what I say and what I believe, right? Because join the 2020 to 2023 events, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. My business was very successful because I just let it go and let the universe, and I set it all up in 2019, and 2020 hit, boom, as you heard in my earlier stories. This company was rocking and rolling and money was, doing amazing. And then I always said, when the pandemic or plandemic or whatever you want to call it is over, then my company will slow down because it's going to do natural growth, But if I'd never put that in my reality and just kept it as like, this is on fire and this is going to stay on fire and this is all I believe, it would still be on fire and still be doing its thing. But now, I put that out there for a couple of years and now I realize my error in my ways and now I'm putting the energy to, let it grow and do its thing. And, as long as I have fun and I enjoy and I give thanks and I appreciate everything I'm doing and my employees love the jobs they have, then I'm just going to have fun. I'm just going to do it. And every time I feel like the universe is telling me to do something, I'm just going to do it. And that's it. And then have fun. That's the key, right? But once you take, okay, Mike, I took responsibility. I understand I chose to be the victim or be whatever, right? And now I'm stepping up. And now I want to change my reality. What do I do, Mike? Perfect. You finished reading that book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'm not paid, okay? I don't have affiliate links for that. If I could, I would. I don't know how to do that, but maybe I'll look it up. If you want to tell me how, send me an email at lifechangersmike@gmail.com. That's lifechangersmike@gmail.com. And you can tell me how I could do that, make some money. Because I'm paying for this podcast out of pocket. And this podcast is not monetized or anything in any way, which I like it to be because it'll be fun. But anyways, yeah. So you did all that. Now what? Well, now you got to find what you want to do, what you like to do, and start trying to find the energy of money, love, compassion, and all the stuff that you want in your life and become the person that you want to be. And for me, I started doing and listening to different meditations by Dr. Joe Dispenza and other things I found online. I looked into sound healing, using like energy frequencies. So I listen to those on YouTube or online, where it's like certain frequencies. I listen to some guided, meditations when you sleep, or like hypnosis when you sleep and stuff like that, to help me with finding the energy of money and love. And once you find that frequency, then you got to find what works for you. What works for you is you got to start creating your foundation of your reality and start laying the bricks and start growing it, and continue listening to my podcasts. And I also suggest, once you get to this point, you start reading that book I mentioned earlier called The Science of Getting Rich. That's by Water. I'll look it up later and put it on. And listen to that book, because that book is simple, written about 100 years ago, straight to the point, and it guarantees you that it will help you find the energy of money and success. And I suggest that book. And I suggest you read the original, because I like the original. So it's called The Science of Getting Rich by Walter something B something like WBW is his initials, I believe. But I found it on Audible, and it works and great. And I'm not sponsored by Audible in any way. If Audible wants to reach out to me, so be it. I could be sponsored. So lately, as you know, I've been slacking off on being on the podcast, and people started writing me and asking me questions, about like the Illuminatis, or about this and about that, or how I see the links and all that. And I generally don't dabble in looking for negativity, because all like the Illuminati and all those other things are always been negative, because I don't want negativity in my reality. But then I came across it before, listening to Gaia. Gaia has their own, it's kind of like Netflix, but Gaia's Sphere and all that stuff. And there's a guy on there who claims to, and people ask me, what do you think about this group? And it's called TLS, Total Light System. And they have a spokesperson that they recently reached out to in the last couple of years or so, who overnight became successful in his field of talking about different things and whatnot. But I find, for lack of a better word, I guess like hashtag TLS, Total Light System. It's not that he's not a good spokesperson. And like what the TLS apparently, from what I understand, is doing is like, it's kind of like the positive or the good people, like trying to push positive energy in the world, where whatever people in Hollywood or the Illuminati or whatever people are saying is pushing, devil worshipping and negativity. And then the other side's pushing more positivity and trying to help people learn how to be successful and how to reach their potential through law of attraction and so on and so forth. So if it's a real thing, I can't confirm or deny, because I don't know. Because the way I believe and understand things is, if I bring it into my reality and I see it for myself, then it's real. If it's not, it's just, hearsay, whatever. If it doesn't resonate with me in any way, it doesn't resonate. But if it is an organization there to do good in the world and all that, I suggest you get a better, no offense, but spokesperson. Because every time I watch his videos on Gaia, or when it popped up on TikTok, the TLS needs you to hear this message. Like, I was given a message to give to you. And the guy they use, is so dramatic and where it just makes it seem so fake. And the guy he's interviewing, I remember one of the things it was hilarious to me. So this guy was interviewing, and I think they were talking about like the pyramid scrolls or the hidden pyramid secrets or something. And then I listened to that episode on Gaia for a long time, like almost the whole thing, and then never actually like said anything deep or anything I didn't already know. Like it was just basics. But I found it like, it's kind of introducing to me to the, the TLS, I guess. And the guy he was talking to, so the host was like, look how successful I am. Look at all this stuff. You're reaching all these people, blah, blah, blah. And it was hilarious because the TLS representative was like, whoa. You got to understand that we brought you in. You were not successful. You were nobody until we brought you in and then, put you on all these platforms. And now you're successful because you have all this backing, right? And kind of putting him in his place like, you're working for us. We own you, right? In a nice way, in a good way, kind of like humbling him a bit. And I thought it was the funniest thing because he kept on trying to say like how amazing it was. And then the TLS guy's like, calm down, relax. And trying to ask hard questions, right? And he's like, just yeah. It was hilarious. And I was just like, wow, if there is a real organization called Total Light System, and they're there to do good in the world and promote law of attraction and, good energy and stuff like that, well, I could be your spokesperson because, yeah, the guy you have isn't, I feel he's not doing you justice. It sounds like conspiracy stuff and the way he puts it all, and it's not mainstream at all. I'm sorry to say, if all that stuff's true, the other side's doing a better job. No offense. You should reach out to me because I think we would do a better job in having motivational workshops and teaching people how to take control of their reality, not getting into all this doom and gloom conspiracy stuff, right? But if that's the reality you want to live in, then so be it. You choose your reality. I am here as a spokesperson of love, joy, compassion, and free thinkers. People to think for themselves and to choose to their own reality. And I want to create community, through Life Changers Mike, where we can all just say, hey, this is what I'm going through. What can I do, to help me out, in the community, and just have good, positive energies, no hate, no nothing like that. Because a lot of these events, like I went, something called the Sideburn and another one, it's all like, once you're in, like everybody's giving. Like I'm walking out, going to different venues or different events out there. Like it's like camping with like, one of them's like less than 1,000 people. I think this one is like 2,500 people I just did in Michigan, USA. And, everything, once you get in and like you pay to get in and all that, it's all about giving to the community and showing love and compassion and accepting, and no one's pushing their agenda. No one's like whatever, right? No one's there to promote, sell you anything or anything. It's like some people are giving away free grilled cheese sandwiches. Some people are giving away pizzas. Some people are giving away alcohol. A lot of people are giving away alcohol and stuff like that. It's all free. Everything's free once you're in. There's not like, hey, welcome to this event. Now you're here. It's $20 for a drink or $5 for a Coca-Cola, stuff like that. It's everything. Everybody's just giving to our community. That's the sense of community, and I like that. It's funny because I talked to a lot of people, and one person I was talking to, I was like, hey, wouldn't it be awesome that we can live like this forever? They said, eventually, who knows, it'll probably get boring or corrupt because not everybody's in the same mind frame, right? Which is true, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's good. So the type of person that I'm promoting and this is who I am, is I don't care. I don't judge people. Everybody needs to live their life, but I promote love across the board, and I promote self-love and self-appreciation, and not judging, not going, too crazy on the right, too crazy on the right. I'm kind of like, I always say, Switzerland, I'm in the middle, right? No, I understand where people are coming from and people's different realities, because the information they choose to accept in their life is what is creating their reality. And I understand that there's groups of people that want to be like, we're right, you're wrong, and so on and so forth, because that's the programming of the world, is divide and conquer. But Mike, you always talk about how like we choose. Yeah. If you're choosing to live in those different realities and all that of competition, I'm not saying competition is bad. You know, like I used to do track and field, and I used to do table tennis competitions, and so forth and so on. Right? I was going to do the Olympics when I was younger, but I decided not to. But competition is not bad. But it's all everybody thinks, like I said before, in everybody's reality, everybody's right. Everybody believes they are right. They know best, so on and so forth, which you do for your own personal reality. But they want everybody to believe what they believe and do what they do, and that's all there is to it. It's kind of like when you find a way to make, let's say you find a loophole to make like $1 million right away, instant, right away, now. And you try to share with the world, and you got people that'll be like, oh, this guy's crazy, and you're just trying to help people. And some people, there'll be 1% of people that you told might actually go, well, let's try it. It won't hurt. And then if it works, oh, wow, right? So on and so forth. I don't expect everybody to believe what I'm saying or believe what I'm whatever, right? I just want people to figure it out that in the end, you are in control of your reality. You choose what you believe based on the information you're given, and so on and so forth. And yes, there's a lot of misinformation in the world, which I find it boggles my mind. I don't have that in my heart to be like, I'm going to put out all this misinformation, even if it sounds stupid, right? Like, hey, I drive a truck and I have a tube in my truck, and look at where I put the tube, and then it's just people being stupid and retarded. Like, It's for them. It's like, oh, I'm a joke, and then there's people that are so gullible that believe it and go like, oh, what's what to do, right? Or, I lay concrete by putting all this powder everywhere, and then I leave it and let it rain, and it will do its thing, so on and so forth, and all this, misinformation, or all these 5-minute crafts that are stupid and don't even make sense. Just people wanting to try to find their way on how they're going to make their money, and so on and so forth. And if that's what's popular, I guess that's what's popular. Just like all those stupid prank shows, people like going out and doing something stupid to people in public, and like, it's just a joke, it's just a joke. And then they wonder why they get their butts kicked. Well, yeah, because it's not a joke to that person in their reality. Like, leave people alone, leave their people's personal space. It's not like I'm going around to people at Walmart or wherever I, shop or wherever I go and be like, hey, if you don't believe this, you're stupid, okay? No, I don't think that at all. I actually understand where everybody's coming from, because it's the information they filter through the reality that they live in, and that's where they live. But if you want to know more, if you want to break out of the matrix, if you want to grow and understand the universe and do amazing things and miracles, as people would say, and create your own reality and create your own wealth and create your own everything and have your wildest dreams, well, it's up to you if you want to get out of the matrix or not. No one's here to force you, because it has to be a choice. Do you want to learn how to hack your world, your reality? I know I do, and that's what intrigues me about all this. And I do things here and there, and when it works, it works. So why not do it? When it works, it works. You need to find out what works for you. You need to find out your reality. Are you just going to listen to everything you're fed and do your whatever? Or are you going to be a free thinker and follow your gut, your heart, your soul, your energy, and filter out what you believe is real and not real, and choose? Like, I choose. People might be like, you're just stupid if you choose not to look at the reality. We're going into World War III. There's people I knew growing up in my religion, who is going around saying, hey, World War III is coming. This is what I heard from a prepper. Now buy all this stuff. And he's there trying to sell everybody all the time on these multi-level marketing things. That's hilarious. And nobody trusts a word that comes out of his mouth. It's kind of like the boy that cried wolf. Maybe he's right, maybe he's not. Who knows? I just figured in my reality and the point that I'm at in my life, I choose love. I choose compassion. I choose goodness. And if there's going to be a split in this world where there's going to be, different realities here, where there's the doom and gloom reality and everybody's living their worst life, or the happy-go-lucky reality, where I am at. Puppies and rainbows, Hakuna Matata. Because that's what I choose. And it's funny because when I look back at the pandemic here in Canada, and it was pretty gnarly in the sense like all these forced lockdowns, forced curfew, taking away a lot of people's rights and so on and so forth. Slowly but surely. Forcing the agenda or whatever you want to call it. But in my reality, it was puppies and rainbows. I was too busy to care, in a sense. My business was doing its thing. I was helping communities and individuals, right? My transport business and getting all these food and groceries all over the Arctic areas and stuff like that. Getting medical supplies and whatever they needed, right? We were there for them. And business was great. Yeah, it sucked that I couldn't travel for 2 years. It was annoying. I couldn't leave Canada. I was kind of like, well, whatever. But I was busy enough with my business to keep me busy that when I look back at it, it's just a blur. So, and a lot of people were sitting there going, oh, it's the end of the world. We're all going to die from this virus. And there's other people going, everybody's going to die because of this. And everybody's going to, everybody's talking doom and gloom and everybody's dying. And, oh, the government's going to take all our rights away and force us to do this and force us to do that. And everybody's like, yeah, you should be forced because you're stupid. And just both sides are fighting like a bunch of idiots, like a bunch of school kids. It's funny because nobody wants to be forced to do anything. But yet, if you are right in your reality, you want people to be forced to do what you think is right. But why? I want people to do what they feel is right for them and their reality and their family or whatever. Let them do what they want. It's not hurting me. It's not affecting me in any way. So why put that in your fucking reality? Because it means nothing. It's just hate. And that's what they want. Remember, if you're a conspiracy theorist or if it's not a conspiracy theory, it's real. Yeah, there's a lot of crap going on. There's a lot of programming. And that's what I'm hinting at. There's a lot of programming. Are you going to fall for the programming and accept the programming? Are you going to put that in reality where it's doom and gloom end of the world? And I always hear people sometimes on TikTok and all that saying, hey, we just shifted into a different reality. This is our OG, the original reality right now of like good, there's no control. There's no hate. There's no this. There's no that. It's all back to normal where it's good, puppies and rainbows and so on and so forth. And there's other people saying, no, we're in this reality now where it's World War III and blah, blah, blah. We could be in all realities at once because it's all about what you believe. Well, Mike, you're ignoring the things that are right there in front of your face. I'm not ignoring nothing. Like I tell people that are close to me, like I tell people that write me all these things, what about this? What about that? I'm the type of person, sorry, once again, coughing here. I forgot to bring water. But I'm the type of person that I live in my reality. And if I see it, if I, see things in my reality, then I believe it type thing. That's the reality I choose to live in. If people are like, well, right now we're in World War III because of this and this and that. I don't know. Is it all a stage? Are we in a movie? Are we in the Truman Show? Is this the Matrix where, whatever you see and you're blinded to is what you're going to see and create, and that's your reality. And if you're going to create war, you could have war. You'll attract it. But in my reality, I'm not creating any of the negativities. I'm just creating happiness, love, compassion, and so on. If you look back through history, there's devastating things happening throughout the world. But there was also people living in their reality that it wasn't devastating or whatever, right? Like, it's kind of like I live in an area where there's a lot of Amish. So if we lose electricity and everybody's freaking out, there's no power. That means there's going to be no food. All the food's going to go. Everybody's freaking out. We need generator. Right? And then in the Amish reality is, we never had power to begin with. And we're living fine. Right? I used to tell people like, oh, I'll be scared of anarchy in the sense of if the food stops delivered to the grocery stores, people are too dependent. And there is people that are naive, stupid, whatever you want to call them, that believe like there's no food in the grocery stores. You can't get it anywhere else, meaning you can't grow it and stuff like that. There's people that believe like we don't need trucks on the road, Food just appears in a grocery store. Well, they don't know there's a lot of trucks driving your food to the grocery stores. There's, a lot of farms and stuff. So no farms mean no food. But there's people fighting against farmers and all that. It's hilarious. There's types of people that just need a cause to fight. They don't even know what they're fighting for. They don't even understand anything. It's hilarious. But anyways, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to live in my reality. And I want you to choose your reality. And if it's doom and gloom, cool. That's your reality, your choice. That's the experience you want to live in your life, right? If you want to live happy-go-lucky, or if you want to live where the world is your oyster and you can do whatever the hell you want, well, keep on listening to my podcasts. Keep on listening to the books I recommend, and so on and so forth. And if there is a thing called the TLS, Total Light System, reach out, sure. Prove to me you're real. No, because in my reality, nothing's real unless I see it. If you really think about it, the only thing that's real right now to me, like physically real, is the studio I'm in, the desk, the walls, right? I have a box of Shreddy's original on my desk for some reason. I got an A&W root beer bear just sitting there, the light, my laptop, my phone. Everything I can see, touch, and feel is real to me, right? I know I have a home. It's in my head. Like, I know I have a home and I have a family and I have friends here and, I got my, my parents over there and so on. I know. But in reality, it doesn't exist right now because I'm not there. I'm not experiencing it, right? That's how we see reality. Reality is what we're experiencing. So if you can live in the moment and experience what you're experiencing in the moment and enjoy every moment of it, how much more happiness you'll have, and joy and love. And stop thinking the world's against you. Stop thinking everybody hates you, because I'm going to be honest. Nobody really gives a crap about you except you. It's true. Nobody cares about me except me, right? My wife cares about me. My kids care about me. And they love me, right? But in reality, like my parents, my siblings, so on and so forth, my friends, yeah, we all care a little bit about each other. But in the end, the only thing that matters is you, your reality, your immediate family around you. Nobody's looking at you and judging you. Get that out of your reality. It's hilarious how, and I understand, I used to do that too. I'd be walking down the street when I was young and see like teenagers or adults and they're talking to each other laughing. I'm like, they're making fun of me, those motherfuckers. Get over here. Stop making fun of me, right? And meanwhile, they're just talking and telling jokes, right? It's all the programming. Take a step back and look at the programming. Look at the reality you're in. And it's funny. I choose to live like this is a video game or this is just for shits and giggles and I'm going to have fun. Right? And the more I do that, easier it is. Back to what I said at the beginning. Once you realize money is not real, the energy of money is more real. The thought of money is more real than the actual money, and how you can just create money and create opportunity out of thin air is more real than the money. Once you start realizing that love is not like an actual thing, I need somebody to love me, right? Love is just an energy, the energy of love and compassion. I cannot even put into words. Yeah, like there's the basic, right? Well, I love my wife because she loves me and I love her because, she makes me feel good. She makes me feel appreciated. I love her smile. I love her energy and so on and so forth. But there's feelings there that I don't even know how to put into words on how deeply in love I am with my wife. And so, it's just, we're talking about it. It's like, it's hard, right? We talk about like, are we different because we actually sit there and talk about everything and not just like assume, you know what I mean? Like if I have an issue with my wife, I'm going to talk to her about it. She has an issue with me, we'll talk about it. And if we're getting grumpy, we'll just calm down and wait until we're not grumpy and so on and so forth, right? But I don't know. It's just like, I feel like a lot of people don't sit down and actually talk about their feelings. It's more like in the movies, right? When you're watching, like this person, oh, I really love this person, but I'll wait for them to do this and that. And then, oh, this person's like, oh, I really like this person, but I'm waiting for them to make the first move or whatever, right? If they just sit down and talked, like, things would be a lot better. You see that all the time in movies. It's all misunderstandings, right? All these villains become villains because they misunderstood the situation. People need to just shut up, sit down and talk and get rid of their ego of the world. Yes, it's funny. I'm contradicting myself. The world does evolve around you, but the world evolves around everybody at the same time. We're all co-creators. We're all creating our realities. No one's better than anybody else. We're all equal. It's just, some people piss me off and I don't want them in my reality because they're negative or whatever. So be it, right? I'm not going to interact with those people. You don't have to stoop to their level if they're whatever. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, y'all? But when you actually stop living life through your screen, okay, through the programming that we are fed, and I'm straightforward, we're censored in Canada. You can't say certain things in Canada because it offends somebody or supposedly offends somebody. But there's a lot of censorship. I see it in Canada, and there's probably around the world. Everybody's censored in their own way. But I know for a fact like how censored we are, and stuff like that. But we just need to stop living through the screens and living through what we're fed, living through like, oh, everybody hates everybody, everybody's this way and everybody's that way, and this is the biggest trend in the history of the world, so on and so forth. And live in reality, because when I go out traveling to the U.S. or traveling all over and meeting people and stuff like that, it's not like that at all. Everybody's nice. Everybody's afraid of everybody else being like, are you one of those crazy people that are going to yell at me because I don't believe everything you believe? Right? Don't get me wrong. When I was Christian, I used to feel bad for people being like, oh, they don't believe everything I believe. I'm right, they're wrong. Doesn't matter what religion they're in. I'm in the right one and they're not. Isn't that crazy? Well, I'm in a religion where we love everybody. But I'm in a better religion than you. So I love you with my words, but I don't love you with my heart. Right? Close with your words, far with your heart. Far with showing, through example, right? But in the end, you have to decide, what role are you playing in this movie, in this Matrix, in this reality, in the Truman Show, or in the Fall Guy, or whatever movie you want to live life in. Is it an action pack? Is it a comedy? What are you going to create? You going to create drama? You're going to create victim? You're going to create comedy, love, happiness, action, whatever. It's your choice what you believe. And your choice with the energy you want. And if you don't believe in what I'm saying, that's your choice too. But you cannot deny that no matter what reality you choose to live, it comes down to the energy. It's all about your gut feeling. It's all about how you feel. It's all about the energy, right? How, certain group of people make you feel or whatever. You choose to ignore certain energies. It's all universal law 101. It's all about energy. So I'll just leave you with that for now. I know we talked about a lot, and I just wanted to get back into it. And I'm going to post this soon. And then I'm going to create another one and so on and so forth and try to keep up. And let's get me monetized. Let's just do this, and let's see. Let's keep on pushing the TLS to come out and reach out to me and see if they want to come on my little podcast and talk to me. And if anybody wants, I'm doing it for free right now because you have to prove the concept before But reach out to me. It's called lifechangersmike@gmail.com. Lifechangersmike. All one word, @gmail.com. And send me an email, and I'm giving free advice to people. And if they want to come on the show, we could do it through Zoom, do it through, online, and plug them into my system, and it'll be as if you're here. And if you're local to my area, then you can come in studio directly and meet me. And yeah, I'm doing free seminars, free one-on-ones. If anybody wants to have a life coach or have somebody to motivate them and push them along, because we are all looking for that advice from the outside, right? Because the people in the box cannot see what's around the box because you're in the box, right? So if you want a different perspective on things you're working on or things you're having trouble with or things that you're like, hey, I'm doing good, but I want to see if we can make it better, right, through your advice. Try me. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's grow this community of love, compassion. Doesn't have to be all about law of attraction. I could help people be successful in their business, people successful in their relationships. If anybody just wants life advice, I'm here to give it because apparently I do a fucking good job. And everybody I've talked to one-on-one and stuff like that, where everybody's just like, holy crap, you need to put a website together. You need to have people put testimonials. You need to do this. You need to start charging this much. But I'm doing it for free right now. And then we'll see where the universe takes me, because I just want everybody to know and experience the best version of themselves. I love each and every one of you. You are amazing. You are important. Everybody's important in your personal reality. Stop playing the victim. Stop playing the negative energy. Stop all this stuff if you're not feeling good. And change your reality. It's time to shift your reality. And it's time for you to step up and choose and take responsibility for your reality and make it the best reality you can have. I love you guys. I appreciate everybody. And thank you for tuning in. And let's just start sharing and posting and tell everybody about this podcast. It's amazing. It's only going to get better. And I want to get more and more people interviewing so I don't have to sit here talking myself and just bring people in, and it'll be great. So let's get this going. Once again, it's lifechangersmike@gmail.com if you want to reach out. If you want to be on the podcast or anything like that, it's lifechangersmike@gmail.com. Thank you very much. You guys are amazing. Peace out. I love you.